What's up, Met fans? Welcome back to Talking Mets here, Rob. How is everybody doing? Before I get started talking about the possibility of the New York Mets trading for center fielder Bryan Reynolds of the Pittsburgh Pirates, don't forget, guys, if you enjoyed this video, hit on that like button. If you enjoy my content, want to see more, want to get notified when I post my videos and when I go live, you guys know what to do. Hit on that subscribe button, everybody. All right, guys, so I'm going to give you three different trade proposals or three different trade offers to give to the Pittsburgh Pirates to try to acquire Bryan Reynolds, the center fielder of the Pittsburgh Pirates. I will also go through his stats and also go over his contract and how many years of team control does he have with the Pittsburgh Pirates, because everything is related to what the Mets would have to give up to acquire Bryan Reynolds of the Pittsburgh Pirates. So we're going to look quickly at Bryan Reynolds' stats in his career. So in his stats for Bryan Reynolds, he came up in 2019 at the age of 24, had a really good season. He played 134 games. He had a batting average of 314, which is the highest of his career. He had 16 home runs and he had 68 RBIs. Really good season. Nice rookie year. If you look at 2020, which was unfortunately a pandemic year, I really don't like to look at the pandemic year when it comes to stats because it can be misleading in a bad way and in a good way. In 2021, he was an all-star in the first time of his career. He batted .302. He had 90 RBIs and had 24 home runs in the season. A very, very good year, all-star, and best year of his career overall. And he kind of came down back to earth in 2022. His average dropped significantly in 2022 with a 262 average, but he hit 27 home runs, so the power went up, but the average went down. And he also had 62 RBIs. So he lost a bit of average, but acquired a couple of more home runs. In his career, you can look at it, he has 74 home runs in his career. He averages around 24 within the average of 162 game season. So 24 home runs is probably what the Mets exactly need in that lineup. They need more power. They need more of a guy that can provide that protection for Pete Alonso. And I would not mind seeing Lindor, Alonso, Reynolds as your 3, 4, 5 in the Mets lineup in 2023. So that is Bryan Reynolds' stats for his career so far. So the stats look good. That is a good thing. Now, the more important thing is his contract, and we're going to look at it right here. So with Bryan Reynolds, he signed a 2-year, $13.5 million deal to buy out 2 years of arbitration. But what this does is that it doesn't make him an unrestricted free agent in 2024. He is in this Super 2 eligible arbitration where after the 2023 season, he has 2 more years of arbitration eligible years in 2024 and 2025. And then becomes an unrestricted free agent in 2026. So the Mets, or anybody who trades for Bryan Reynolds, in this instance, the Mets, they have a couple of more years of control. But as you can see, team control means very costly in a trade proposal and trade offer that you have to give to the Pittsburgh Pirates with prospects. And we're going to look at that in a second. Remember, guys, 3 trade proposals. So he's making $6.75 million the next 2 years, and then arbitration eligible for the remainder of the 2 years, 2024 and 2025, before he becomes an unrestricted free agent in 2026 at the age of 31. So as of right now, he will be 28 years old when the season starts in 2023. And that's what we're looking at when it comes to Bryan Reynolds' stats. He's a really good player. He has very good defensive skills in center field. And this is a plan B for the New York Mets if they decide to not re-sign Brandon Nimmo. Bryan Reynolds is a trade option the Mets can look at. There has been reports that in the beginning of the 2022 season, that after they came up with this deal, the 2 years of $13.5 million for Bryan Reynolds, that the Pirates were not going to trade Bryan Reynolds. But it's the offseason of the 2022 season, and things would change. And the Pirates are a very interesting team because they're in a state of flux, right? They're once again rebuilding in a way, and they're a type of team that is going to take a couple of years to actually be competitive. And the time they are going to be competitive, Bryan Reynolds might be on his way out the door in Pittsburgh. So we all know about Oneil Cruz and how good he is. He's going to be a star in the making. But what else is around Cruz in the Pittsburgh Pirates roster? Not much. It's going to take a couple of years to get those prospects or bring those prospects up through their system to have a competitive team in the next couple of years. I don't believe Bryan Reynolds is going to be a big part of that when they start to be competitive. So maybe they're going to look and get a lot of assets. So with trade proposal 1, we are going to look at it right here. The Mets will receive, obviously, Bryan Reynolds. The Mets would give Alex Ramirez their number 4 outfield prospect, Ronnie Mauricio their number 6 prospect shortstop, and Calvin Ziegler, right-handed pitcher, number 9 prospect. That is 3 prospects in their top 10. And some people are going to say, why would the Pittsburgh Pirates want Ronnie Mauricio? They have a shortstop in Oneil Cruz. Well, if you have been paying attention of where Ronnie Mauricio has been playing in the Dominican Winter League, it's been third base, and he's been playing it extremely well. So now, not only is his value up because of the play he has been putting on the field over the last couple of years in Ronnie Mauricio, well, guess what? Now they finally decided to throw him in third base, where he's exceeding his defensive skills even more than people expected at third base. So he is going to build up into his body. He's going to get stronger. He's going to get bigger. Ronnie Mauricio, I still project him to be a third baseman. And guess what? Ronnie Mauricio is projected ETA, time of arrival, is this year. So the Pirates can get him just like that and put him at third base and put him with Oneil Cruz. That'll be a shortstop, a left side of the infield for many, many years to come for the Pittsburgh Pirates. So that is trade proposal number 1. Alex Ramirez, Ronnie Mauricio, and Calvin Ziegler, number 4, number 6, and number 9 prospect. So as you can see, 3 of the top 10 Mets prospects, I think Ronnie Mauricio in that entire bunch is going to be the best of those prospects in that trade proposal 1. But we're going to look at trade proposal 2 right now, and it looks like this. Mets receive Bryan Reynolds. The Pirates receive Brett Beatty, number 2 prospect, Ronnie Mauricio, and Jose Butto. Once again, I think Ronnie Mauricio is going to be in this deal no matter what. Once again, he can play third base, and that is a big deal for many teams that could have a guy that many predict that is going to be very good offensively, is going to have the power. It looks like he's going to hit for average. And now that we're seeing him play third base in the Dominican Winter League, is making his value even bigger. So Brett Beatty, we've seen a little bit of him with the Mets at third base when they brought him up in Atlanta. I think he's going to be a very good player. I don't think he's going to be as good as Ronnie Mauricio, but he's going to be a solid major leaguer. And you can also look to put Brett Beatty in left field because he's played left field numerous times in the Mets minor league system. So, yes, you are getting Mauricio and Beatty, who both can play third base for the Pirates, but whoever is a better defensive third baseman, you leave him there. And Brett Beatty, we already know he plays left field, and that can work out for the Pirates very, very well. And Jose Butto, we saw him one time with the Mets, wasn't very good, but his stuff is electric, and if he can fine-tune it, he can definitely be in the Pirates rotation within the next year or two, possibly even next year in 2023, and also could possibly be a big-time reliever in their bullpen as well. So trade proposal 2 looks like this. Brett Beatty, number 2 prospect, Ronnie Mauricio, the number 6 prospect, and Jose Butto, the number 15 prospect. So 3 of the top 20 Mets prospect, 2 in the top 10. So that is trade proposal number 2. 2 trade proposals that I believe that could be the starting point to talk about Bryan Reynolds coming to Queens and play center field for the New York Mets. And last but not least, trade proposal number 3. This one is very expensive, ladies and gentlemen. Brett Beatty, number 2 prospect, Alex Ramirez, and Ronnie Mauricio. Your 2, 4, and 6 prospect. That's something right there. I do not want to give Alex Ramirez with Ronnie Mauricio, but I do think trade proposal number 3 is something that will be an eye-opener for the Pittsburgh Pirates. They can put Brett Beatty in left field. Obviously, Ronnie Mauricio can play third base, and Alex Ramirez is playing many outfield positions in the Mets minor league system. He is projected to be a center fielder in a couple of years. There is some reports and some that say that Alex Ramirez could be up in 2024, and he is coming through the minor league system rather quickly, and he was out of the Mets top 10 2 years ago, and now is in the top 5 in the Mets prospect list, and probably going to be in the top 50 of the MLB top prospects lists in this new list that will be coming out very shortly for Major League Baseball. So trade proposal number 3, I think, is very, very lucrative for the Pittsburgh Pirates. It sucks for the Mets to lose these prospects, but you got to give to get. And the way the Mets are looking, if they don't sign Brandon Nimmo, I don't see them going after any of the big shortstops that are available in free agency. So the Mets' next best thing to get a bat to protect Pete Alonso is Bryan Reynolds. And it comes back to the same thing over and over again with the New York Mets. If they're not going to get the big bat in free agency, they have to use their assets in the minor league system to acquire a big bat. We had this, I did a video the other day about Rafael Devers. That is an option for the Mets, since the Red Sox are getting closer to a deal with Rafael Devers, but it still seems like they're not that close as of yet. And Bryan Reynolds still has a couple of years more control, just signed a 2-year deal to buy out 2 years of arbitration. But with the Pittsburgh Pirates and where Bryan Reynolds is in his career, the Pirates are not going to be competitive by the time Bryan Reynolds' contract is up, and then they're going to lose them anyway. So I think if you can get guys, prospects that are almost major league ready, and every one of these trade proposals, they have multiple players that are major league ready, will fit right in with O'Neal Cruz in the Pittsburgh roster, in the Pittsburgh lineup, and in 2, maybe even 3 years, they can be competitive. But they're not going to be competitive with Bryan Reynolds anytime soon. So they might as well get what they can for him, and they'll get a lot in a deal for Bryan Reynolds, which is a situation where a lot of teams can be looking at Bryan Reynolds if they lose out on Brandon Nimmo, the teams that could be looking at Brandon Nimmo, and the losers that lose out on Nimmo could look to try to trade for Bryan Reynolds of the Pittsburgh Pirates. Once again, guys, the 3 trade proposals. Trade proposal 1 looks like this: Alex Ramirez, Ronnie Mauricio, Calvin Ziegler going to the Pirates. Trade proposal 2, Brett Beatty, Ronnie Mauricio, and Jose Butto. And trade proposal 3, Brett Beatty, Alex Ramirez, and Ronnie Mauricio. I like trade proposal number 3 because I think it's an eye-opener for the Pittsburgh Pirates. That's a lot going to the Pittsburgh Pirates, some that I do not want to give up, but you got to give to get, and we all know that. Once again, guys, let me know in the comments, guys, what you think. Trade proposal 1, 2, or 3. Which one do you think the Mets would want to give, and which one do you think the Pittsburgh Pirates will accept? Or you don't agree at all, and let me know what you would put in a deal to get Bryan Reynolds. Once again, guys, don't forget to hit on that like button. If you're enjoying my content, want to see more, want to get notified when I post my videos and when I go live, you guys know what to do. Hit on that subscribe button, everybody. Let me know in the comments, guys, what you think of these 3 trade proposals. If you disagree, let me know in the comments, what do you think it would take to get Bryan Reynolds to get to the New York Mets? I want to thank you guys for watching, and as always, Mets fans, let's go Mets.